years 6 through 12, drawing my perfect wedding dress and thinking about what my wedding was going to be like. Back then, the groom-to-be was Jonathan Brandis, who I would even watch karate movies with Chuck Norris for. It was going to be perfect. New Kids on the Block were going to play, and my dress was going to be just like Princess Diana's. My tiara was going to be bigger, and my hair and makeup was going to be just like Jem from Jem and the Hologram. My mom would cry at how her baby was all grown up, and my dad would walk me down the aisle wearing a teal sequined tuxedo. We were going to dance all night, and everyone was going to be invited except for Joey Johnson. He picked on me at school. The party was going to be at Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Parlor in Funland. It truly was going to be the wedding of the century. As I aged, I realized that finding someone who you really connected with was the most important thing, and that marriage would be about making things easier day to day. My preferences in the perfect partner seemed to constantly be changing. One day I was looking for Miss Right, the next day Mr. Right. They needed to be tall. No, maybe short. They needed to be blonde. No, ginger. Cute. Yes, very, very cute. As I matured, even more, they needed to just love me. All of me and everything about me. From my fashion obsession to my downright geeky love of science fiction and role-playing games. Love my body and my spirit. All that makes me a woman makes me the woman I am. And that was always going to be the hard part. When I transitioned, I knew I was making sacrifices. I was choosing a life of internal honesty over a life of pretense with all the benefits. Instead of a life where I was more likely to have a good job with a nice salary, a much easier chance to find a life partner, easier to adopt a child, or even immigrate to another country. Instead of this, I chose to be me. Most trans women make the same choice, being themselves over an easier life. We choose to live our lives with higher risk of cancer, poverty, and violence. We choose risk over certainty. Those of us who are lucky enough to transition while we are still under 25 or even 30 are far more likely to find a partner than those who are over 30 at the time of transition. The lucky ones are those who happen to retain a partner from before their transition. These are both minorities in the trans woman community. Things are luckily changing for everyone, for the better, but not fast enough. I think in my own transition, this was the hardest risk, to accept the possibility that I would be alone all my life. I still made the choice gladly, because for me, it was worth it. Trans women choose life where we are less likely to find love, let alone someone who will marry us. That doesn't mean that it shouldn't be an option, though. It takes a special person to love a trans woman, and an amazing person to openly love a trans woman. Your average person has a hard time with what caring for a trans woman marks them as, mostly a freak. Many people get further scared off when they enter the world of daily harassment and discrimination that is a trans woman's life. All the things that society inflicts upon a trans woman become the burden of a significant other of a trans woman. I have had more than a few partners who buckled under the pressure that can be massive at times. Women, men, and gender neutral, all those who ventured to love me, eventually found it all too devastating. So it was amazing and wonderful, just as I submitted to a life alone, I finally found my soulmate, my love, my best friend, Ryan, who is just the most amazing person I have ever met. I still feel lucky that I have him. What was not so amazing was having to have a civil union instead of a marriage. I have nothing against civil unions or those who choose to have them. It was just not what we wanted. As Christians, we believed it was our right as man and woman to have a marriage. Also, on a practical level, marriage came with more benefits for me as an American. In order to take my husband's surname legally with a civil union, I have to change my name by deed poll through the American court system. Is this a special right or something that every legally bound couple deserves? This is all we want, equality. A civil union is not the same as a marriage. It is its awkward and annoying cousin. It promises everything that a marriage offers and falls drastically short. Its failings not only affect the couple, but the entire family that may blossom from the beautiful union of two people. The negative effects are just yet to be discovered as more and more people in civil unions begin to start families. As someone who is planning and hoping for children, I will want the best for my children and their future. I have yet to be convinced that the limitations of a civil union are the best. I am not saying civil unions are evil and bad, but they don't fit everyone. And everyone deserves the right to choose marriage or civil union. I am not asking for any special rights or privileges, just those of every other man and woman who want to take their relationship to a further legal step. Maybe in other circumstances, a civil union would be what Ryan and I would have chosen. Maybe were we not Christian or fans of marriage or wanting a family. I just wish we had been given the choice of having a civil union or a marriage.
Wow. That was a really great speech. Thank you, Brooklynne.